Is living in the USA really as bad as some people say it is? Some places can be bad. Poor parts of inner cities can have high crime rates. Poor parts of rural areas can have bad infrastructure and lack government services. Rich parts can have a very high cost of living. But I wouldn't trade places with 99% of the world's population. Living in the USA is a pointless question. Some parts of the US are more violent than Nicaragua, which is very violent. But other places like New Hampshire and Maine have lower violent crime and homicide rates than Canada. If you're poor in America, it can be absolute hell. If you have a decent job, you're likely enjoying the best standard of living on earth, save for a handful of places like Switzerland and Norway.
No.
We have our problems, but we're a lot better off than a lot of countries. It's not terrible, there's just a lot of glaring issues that are really stupid. Super hard for me. Both my kids are in college. My job is pretty sweet. My wife is hot. And our house is awesome. Oh, my football team sucks. So I guess there's that. No. Don't believe the Reddit kids. The US is one of the best countries in the world in which to live. No. I have the option to reside in Australia. A very lovely country. But I prefer living here. I may move back to Australia at some point, but it's USA for now. It's a spectrum. There are definitely millions of people living in the US that would be safer and/or more financially sound if they lived in another country. But there are likely even more people that wouldn't fit into that category. If you are financially okay is the best country. The problem is that a large portion of USA are low-paid workers who don't live well. It depends on where you live and how much money you have. It's a huge place with a lot of people. Depends on which state and how much you earn. Do I consider myself lucky to be born a USA citizen? Yes. Do I think we need stronger social programs and structure to help people escape poverty traps? Even though keeping people in poverty is in the interest of corporations and billionaires? Also yes. I'd say it depends on what country you are moving from, what your political beliefs are, and how much money you make. The last one will really determine your quality of life. It really depends on what metrics you are trying to judge by and where in the US you are looking. The lives of people can vary so wildly even within the same large city, let alone a state or region. If you are judging by healthcare, it's not great unless you have great insurance and/or a lot of money. Judging by infrastructure, some places are okay, even good. A lot of places aren't. Most of the US has little to no public transit, so almost everyone needs a car to survive. If you are measuring using car ownership, probably great, but if you are measuring by debt per person, pretty bad. Salaries tend to look amazing in cities, but minimum wage in a lot of places put and keep people well into poverty. Home ownership isn't great and generally things are pretty expensive. Colleges are great, but are also insanely expensive. Arguably at this point, not worth the cost for a lot of people. Not even close. Reddit has a very anti-American slant. And anytime any state implements a policy that most users of this site don't like, they act like we're living in Nazi Germany. If you don't come from poverty, the US is maybe the best place to live. If you do come from poverty, all of Western Europe and many parts of East Asia are better to live.
Depends.
Oh yeah, totally. Please ignore the people risking their lives trying to enter this country. It's hell here. Do you think millions of people would risk their lives to come here if that was the case?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.